If you clicked on this video, you are probably interested in learning Japanese, or you already made some steps on your Japanese learning journey, and you might be wondering, will you actually make it? Will you be able to speak Japanese on your trip to Japan? Will you be able to watch anime without subtitles one day? My name is Yana. I'm fluent in Japanese myself. I teach Japanese and I worked with over 200 students from different countries. And in my experience, there are three major factors that separate the students who reach the level they want in Japanese from those who don't. And in this video, I'm going to ask you three questions, and I invite you to be very honest with yourself because your answers can save you a lot of time, money, and frustration. I'll start with the least important factor and move towards the most important one. So let's get started. Factor 3 and question 3. Do you like being attentive to details? I often see two types of people. Type 1 are people who are almost obsessed with details and actually like it. Type 2 are people who prefer the bigger picture and often feel irritated when they have to deal with subtle differences. Japanese language and a lot of Japanese mentality are all about details. There is even a special word, Japanese word, kodawaru, which means to be particular about some details, to pay special attention to them. Let's do a test. I'm going to show you 4 pairs of similar characters. They are similar, but they are different. And this is an important difference. And I invite you to have a look at those characters and notice your reaction. Here they are. Let's talk about your reaction, especially body reaction. Did you lean closer to the screen? Did you pause this video and probably enlarge that bit if you are watching this on your phone? Did you feel intrigued and actually want to learn more and to figure out the difference? Or did you go like, no, sorry, no way? Did you want to skip this bit and fast forward? This is important. This is your sincere reaction, and this is important. Because in my experience, the students who enjoy facing those subtle differences tend to be more successful in the long run. Those who hate it often get stuck. Unfortunately, often get stuck because Japanese keeps asking the student, the person who is learning the language, to notice those differences and deal with them. Question 2 may sound strange. Do you like writing? Are you someone who has a lot of cute notebooks and stationery? Are you someone who enjoys keeping a diary or journaling? Are you someone who, when studying, enjoys writing things down and organizing the notes in a cute way and so on? This is actually more important than it looks, because what essentially learning is, it is creating new neural connections in the brain. And for Japanese, we need to build many more connections, new neural connections, than when we learn European languages. Take kanji, for example. For one kanji, you might need to learn to remember its shape, its Chinese-based reading, its Japanese-based reading, its meaning in English or in your native language, and several example words. This is a lot of information. Compared to just one word in another European language, this is a lot of stuff to remember. So how do we create those neural connections? We create them by repetition, and we strengthen them also by repetition. From what I know as a teacher and also from my psychology background, the brain easily switches into the learning mode when a person writes. For example, my sensei once told me how to learn kanji. She told me to write a line or two of the same kanji every time, saying out loud the readings and the meaning of the kanji. Then repeat the next day, and after a few repetitions over several days, the kanji stays in the memory. Of course, nowadays there are many apps that don't need pen and paper, and I myself went from N2 to N1 using only apps. But my brain was already well trained to build those neural connections and actually hungry for those new connections. So that is really an advanced learning level. For learners up to N3, I actually strongly recommend writing a lot, especially at the beginning. This will train your brain to build those neural connections. So ask yourself and give an honest answer. Do you like writing? Are you willing to sit with a notebook and actually write in Japanese, write a lot in Japanese? If your answer is yes, you're giving yourself a huge advantage. If your answer is no, you are still able to learn Japanese, but probably you will need some extra discipline to compensate for that. Factor 3 and question 3, and this is actually the most important one. Are you an active learner? Do you actually like to study, especially self-study? This is very important because let's talk about time and effort needed to learn Japanese. I have a more detailed video about how much effort and time it actually takes to reach fluency in Japanese. But here, let's say that there are several levels of Japanese, and in the examination called Japanese Language Proficiency Test, there are 5 levels, and the lowest one, the most easy one, is N5, and it corresponds to the A1 level, which is kind of elementary Japanese. So to reach this level, N5 in JLPT or A1, it is needed, you need to study for something like 400 hours. These 400 hours are not 400 classroom hours. That would be ridiculously unnecessary expensive if you just go study for 400 hours in classroom. A more realistic scenario is 50 classroom hours and 350 self-studying hours. Let's look at these figures. 50 classroom hours look like 1 hour a week for a year, right? And 350 hours of self-studying look like 1 hour for a day for a year. A bit less, right? These are the figures. And after these classroom hours and self-studying hours, you will reach, after a year, you will reach A1 beginner Japanese. Japanese is slow in studying. We should get realistic about that and see the picture. If it really feels slow, we can, I think, double the intensity and have 2 hours of classroom work for a week for 6 months and something like 10-14 hours of self-studying for a week for 6 months, and you will reach this A1 level in 6 months, not in a year. Actually, this looks pretty intense. This looks that a person who is learning needs to make effort, needs to have studying routines, and needs to allocate, I think, 5 to 7 hours of self-studying after each classroom hour. So here we come to a question. Are you an active learner? Do you actually like to self-study? Do you know yourself as a person who can create routines and who can enjoy the routines of slow but steady studying and moving forward? Let's talk a bit about homework and reframe it for our self-studying Japanese learning process. One of the biggest red flags that I see is when students consistently don't want to do homework. These students who don't want to do homework, get stuck very quickly. The whole point of homework is not to torture you. It is to give you enough encounters with the language to build those neural connections that we've talked about. I promise you, that's it. So how do we reframe homework? Let's start with learning words, for example. Think of that list of words at the end of the paragraph in the textbook as a basket of gems. They can be yours. You can take them. And the only way to take those gems and to carry them away is to remember them, to put them in your memory. Then they are forever yours to use. Or let's talk about grammar. Learning grammar is like collecting magical tools, especially Japanese grammar, because Japanese grammar is not really systematical, and it's just hundreds of grammar patterns from most common to least common. And the more those patterns, the more tools you have, the more you can understand and the more you can express. So every minute of your self-studying is like a quest and a training for the level where you can watch anime without subtitles or read manga chapters before they are translated. So here is a question to be very honest with yourself. Are you an active learner? Do you enjoy self-studying process? Do you believe that language is not something that is taught to you, but something that you learn? If yes, then even if you are very busy, and we all are very busy these days, you are likely to reach meaningful levels of Japanese. If not, you can still enjoy some Japanese, pick up some phrases, have fun, and find your treasures along your Japanese language learning journey. But probably you won't reach the levels that you are imagining unless you change that relationship with self-study. So how did you do on these 3 questions? Do you enjoy details? Do you like writing and using your hand and brain together? Are you an active learner who enjoys self-studying process? If you have answered yes to these questions, congratulations! You have a very strong foundation to speak real Japanese even before you go to Japan for the first time. If you have answered no to one or all of these questions, it doesn't mean to give up. It actually shows some opportunities to explore, because if you learn to enjoy the details, if you build a writing habit, for example, journaling, and if you start to enjoy self-studying process, most likely you will benefit from it in many other spheres of your life. So this is something to explore and try to enjoy and see how it goes. If you would like support on your Japanese learning journey, and my way of explaining things and my approach works for you, I invite you to check out the links in the description for ways to connect with me for regular one-on-one lessons or occasional consultations. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that you continue your Japanese path with curiosity and kindness to yourself. Bye bye. See you next time. Mata ne.